Voters are finally waking up to the fact that the emergency coronavirus powers don't exist, folks. The government does not have superpowers. It's not the Avengers. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. There are no... Do any of them actually have superpowers in Guardians? I don't know, but the government definitely doesn't have any. The government is limited on what it can do. Voters in Pennsylvania, where the governor is quite the tyrant over there, Tom Wolf, have finally had enough of his endless emergency. Wall Street Journal, voters say no to endless emergency. In Pennsylvania, a rebuke to Governor Tom Wolf's diktats. Tom Wolf's one of these governors that's used the coronavirus to declare a seemingly endless set of emergencies. Gretchen Whitmer, Andrew Cuomo being others. And sane people like us who believe in the Constitution, liberty, freedom, and the constitutional republic and the dangers of big government, because we're not utopian fallacy suckers, we understand that Lord Acton was right, that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that all great men are inherently bad men. People who seek power are typically people who have mercenary purposes. There's a reason for it. It's a reason our great Constitution and the Bill of Rights is a document of negative liberties. It's what the government doesn't have liberty to do to you. Judge Andrew Napolitano, you might know, has an excellent piece up. It's in the newsletter today. You really need to read it because we're in a really dangerous spot where a lot of suckers out there actually believe, yeah, the Constitution's suspended when there's a viral outbreak. There is? I don't remember reading it. Anyone on the show remember reading that in the Constitution? He's shaking it. Joe, you remember that? Is there a footnote in there?
Never.
Did we miss that?
No.
It doesn't say with the exception of a viral outbreak. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. I didn't miss it. It's not the 32nd Fifth Amendment. I didn't catch it. Here's the piece. It's called The Government's Emergency Powers Myth. And here's a quote from it. There's no emergency powers. Lincoln tried this. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln. He's talking about the Milligan case, Judge Napolitano. He says in a unanimous decision cited hundreds of times, the Supreme Court rejected the concept that emergencies somehow create or increase government power. The court condemned emergencies as a doctrine, the fruits of which none is more pernicious. The condemnation is still the law of the land today, and it applies to the states as well as to the feds. Thus, no matter the exigency, war, floods, pandemic, fear, myth, individual natural rights protected from government interference by the Ninth Amendment trump the unconstitutional words of government officials and invalidate their efforts to enforce compliance. Ladies and gentlemen, we need an awakening in this country right now. It is time to take the country back and stop the nonsense. Here's the Ninth Amendment right there. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In other words, those are your rights, not the government's, and they don't have to list everyone out for you to retain those rights because they're given to you by God. There are no emergency powers. Well, a fair question. But, well, Dan, how did this happen? The government's clearly all around the country, state governments declared emergency powers. The answer is because a lot of us let it. Well, what do you want us to do, Dan? I'm not telling you the answers are easy, but I talked about it often. Said it was time in Manhattan for bands of businesses to get together. I get the prisoner's dilemma, the coordination problem, and just say, we're opening. You can't stop us all at the same time. And we didn't do it. And now states, local governments, and the federal government, because it happened and there's very little penalty for it, have just managed to convince the population of people that the Constitution somehow suspended in an emergency. It doesn't exist, that power, anywhere. They just made it up. One more quick point before our Heroes of the Day and Week. There are candidates that are starting to declare their runs for office for 2022. I'm serious. Please, I don't mean to sound in any way condescending here, so don't take it the wrong way. I'm asking you, please focus on this just next sentence. Because sometimes even when I listen to my own show afterwards, I stray off a little bit. You should be asking every candidate that runs for office if they believe that emergency powers exist in the Constitution to lock down the economy. See what answer they give you. Ask them where they get those powers from. Watch. Thanos? Who do I get? I get him from, what was it, Orton? More calling Orton. Was it Orton? Remember that? Where do you get him from? The Infinity Stones? The stones from the Indiana Jones thing? Where do you get those powers from? Because they're not anywhere in the Constitution that actually governs the country. You should probably ask that question. All right, folks, we have a couple heroes of the day here for different reasons. Guy, what order did I tell you? Did I tell you the guys first? Can we do them last and do the young lady first? Okay, because I want to end on sheepdogs. We talked about sheepdogs. We all have to train to be sheepdogs. Too many sheep out there, easily preyed on by wolves. It's our job to sacrifice a piece of ourselves and to become those hard men that are the only obstacle between the wolves and the sheep. Well, 2 of those guys appeared. We'll play that in a minute. But before that, I know Collier County well, very well. Spent a lot of time out there. This young lady is going to be our hero of the day. I think her name is Selah, S-E-L-A-H. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong or not. 8 years old. She's kind of questioning these government emergency powers, too. Funny how an 8-year-old gets it and doesn't fall for the utopia fallacy. An 8-year-old. We have 80-year-olds who don't get it, who are still liberals. This 8-year-old gets it, and she's like, hey, Collier County folks, why do I have to wear this mask? Like, who told you guys you could do this? I promise, if you're not getting up and clapping at the end of this, there's a part of you that just is missing the whole point. Check this out.
Children are suffocating. You don't know what it feels like, and it's nonsense. Seriously. Like, why would you do that? Why in the world would you do that? And God created us so we can be free people. And we're not being free here or at public schools. Okay? So I would take your masks off if I were you. And I'm not wearing a mask right now, and I never will as much as I can. And George Washington made America so we could be free citizens of the United States of America. And the Statue of Liberty is for liberty and freedom, and we're not free. So maybe you just don't believe in George Washington or God, or like the boss of you or someone is controlling you. Stand up and take these masks off these children. Don't be afraid. And we voted you to be the school board members we wanted you to be. Okay, so please make the schools better, not worse. Goodbye.
Yes. Oh. Okay, come on. You got to stand up. Everybody up. Stand up. He's clapping in the back. Joe, are you standing? Stand up. Oh, everybody up. Up. Applause. Come on, guys. Guys, we love you. Listen, Collier County's across the state. I know the area well. If she wants to come in studio, we will present her with a Hero of the Day award. I'm not kidding. Paula Gee, there's a local trophy shop. You're Hero of the Day. I love you. You are awesome. 8 years old. Probably read Judge Knapp's piece and's like, hey, I read the Constitution. Old George Washington thing, founder of the country, right? Constitution, I'm not sure we actually have these powers. We need an 8-year-old to tell us this. Not us. We need an 8-year-old. I take that back. We need an 8-year-old to tell the liberals. We get it. He really did get up and go. Joe, did you get up? I can't see you on the camera.
Yeah.
He did. Guy can see him. Okay. Joe got up. Now you may say, gosh, that's the hero of the day. Who's the hero of the week? Well, these two guys. There was a, on a serious note, we talk about sheepdogs. Said it, before, played the Lieutenant Colonel Grossman clip. We all need to be sheepdogs. We need to train to be ready on a moment's notice to get between evildoers and the good folks like you and me just trying to live our lives.